Welcome back to the channel, guys. So finally, after a long losing streak, we had a week where the major indices have given a very impressive run. Consequently, we have some stocks that have broken out this week, and there are a few more stocks that are sitting at very, very attractive technical levels. I request you to kindly watch all the stocks listed in the video. You will not be disappointed. Let's start with the first section of the video, where I will be discussing 3 stocks that have given a breakout this week. The first one in this category is with the ticker symbol TTWO, where we are seeing a horizontal breakout. I have opened the chart on the weekly time frame, and now let's dive deeper and analyze the technical of this stock in detail. As you can see, this stock made a high of approximately $214.91 way back in February of 2021. Since then, the stock price had been trading below this level for around 4 years and 2 months, which is quite a long time for consolidation. But finally, this week, we have gotten a breakout in this stock. One thing I want to highlight is that before giving the breakout, the stock actually consolidated for quite a long time, approximately 3 months, right at the breakout level. This makes the breakout even more interesting because, as we all know, the past 3 months have been very fragile and volatile in the market. So after almost 11 weekly candles consolidating at the breakout level, finally seeing a breakout makes it special. Now, moving on to a few key technical indicators for this stock, starting with the exponential moving averages. The current stock price is above both its 50-day and 200-day exponential moving averages, which is generally considered a good technical sign of strength. Let's also quickly check how the volume has been around the breakout. The volume appears to have been very consistent over the past 3 years, without any major inconsistency or sudden spike. Although we usually prefer a breakout accompanied by a strong volume spike, that hasn't been the case here. Still, it's worth noting that the overall volume trend remained stable. Now let's quickly see the dip the stock took after making its previous high. It corrected approximately 55% on the downside. Applying the same percentage on the upside from the breakout level gives us a potential price target of roughly $334. However, let me be very clear, this is not a price target. This method is just a rough approach many traders use to gauge the potential move after a breakout following a long consolidation. Another important point. After a breakout, sometimes the stock may pull back for a retest. If it does retest the breakout level and holds successfully, it would act as an even stronger confirmation of the breakout. That said, whether you want to wait for a retest or take an early entry is completely your decision. So, keep this stock on your radar and let's closely watch how this breakout unfolds over the coming trading sessions. The second stock in this segment that has given a breakout this week is with the ticker symbol VRSN. I've pulled up the chart on a weekly time frame, and the structure here is actually very similar to the first stock we discussed. So I'll just highlight the key points for this one. This stock had made a previous high of around $257 way back in December of 2021. And now, after almost 3 years and 4 months, the stock has finally given us a breakout this week. The current market price is around $272.80. So this is another horizontal breakout worth tracking. Now moving on to the third and final stock in this segment. The ticker symbol is NRIX. Unlike the previous two, I've opened this chart on a daily time frame because this is not a horizontal breakout. This is a downtrend breakout. As you can see on the screen, the downtrend started on the 11th of November 2024 from a high of around $29.56. Since then, the stock has been respecting a clear downward sloping trend line with at least 3 visible touch points. Now, after almost 5.5 months of this downtrend, we finally got a breakout this week. The current market price is around $11.56. So definitely keep NRIX on your watch list as well. So those were the 3 breakout stocks we covered in the first section. Now let's move on to the second part of today's video, where we'll dive into a few stocks that previously gave us a breakout, rallied impressively, and are now pulling back for a potential breakout retest. If these retests hold, these names could very well be on track to smash new all-time highs. Before we jump into the stocks, just a quick pit stop. If you've been anywhere near financial news lately, you already know there's a gold rush happening in the markets. Gold and gold mining stocks are absolutely buzzing right now. If you're curious to know which gold names are actually showing real strength and not just riding the hype, I've highlighted a video on the screen for you. I'll also leave a link to that video in the description box below. Trust me, it's packed with 5 to 6 solid performing gold mining stocks you might want to keep a very close eye on. All right, let's jump into the first stock in this retest section. The ticker symbol is SNA, and I've got the weekly chart pulled up on the screen. Now, as you can see, this stock had made a previous high back in July 2023, around $297.26. Then, during March and April of 2024, it tried multiple times to break above that level. Kind of like how Ross kept trying to move that couch upstairs in Friends, but it just wouldn't happen. Finally, in October 2024, we got the breakout, and not just a tiny one. It was a strong, powerful breakout candle, followed by a very convincing confirmation candle. After that, SNA went on a pretty solid run, and now it's pulling back, right back to the breakout level. This is where things get really exciting. Last week's candle showed a strong wick from the lower levels, signaling that buyers are stepping in exactly where you'd want them to, the previous breakout zone. It's not a textbook hammer, but it's pretty darn close. And for technical traders, that's a very good sign. I personally love these breakout retests, or what I sometimes call the S pattern: breakout, retest, then rally. If you pay attention to what happened last time SNA broke out, you'll notice the exact same story. Resistance, multiple failed breakouts, then a real breakout, a pullback, and a monster rally afterward. I've highlighted that area on the chart for you to see. Of course, if the retest fails, no harm done, but if it holds, well, let's just say you might want to fasten your seatbelt. Definitely keep SNAT on your radar. It's setting up beautifully. Now that you're familiar with how these breakout retests and S patterns work, the next two stocks follow a very similar setup. So for these, I'll quickly hit the key points without going too deep into the weeds. The second stock is MHO, and again, I'm on the weekly time frame here. This stock made a previous high and finally broke out in November 2023, crossing above the breakout zone around $101.60. After the breakout, it had a nice run, and now it's coming back down to retest that old resistance, which, if you know your technicals, could now flip into support. The current price is around $105.60, about 4% above the breakout zone. That's close enough to give you a tight, well-defined stop loss if you're considering an entry. The goal here is simple: find stocks near critical levels so your risk is super manageable if the retest doesn't hold. And finally, the third stock in this section, Yum. Yup, the famous Yum brands. Think Taco Bell, KFC, and Pizza Hut. Brands that know how to make people crave more, just like how we're craving strong stock setups here. On the weekly time frame, Yum made a high of approximately $143 back in May 2023. It tried to break through this level a couple of times, but got rejected. Finally, we got a breakout, and now it's pulling back toward that critical $143 level. The current market price is around $147.30, about 2.5% above the breakout level. Again, a very similar S pattern, very close to support, and a great opportunity to define risk tightly. So definitely keep Yum on your radar too. Setups like these, when they work, can be real game changers. And with that, we wrap up the second section of today's video. All right, guys, if you've been wondering, man, are there any stocks that are just about to break out so we can catch that sweet initial rally before everyone else jumps in? Well, you're in luck, because that's exactly what we're diving into for the third part of today's video. But real quick, if you're already a part of the fam and enjoying the content, could you please smash that like button? It seriously helps way more than you know. And hey, if you're new around here and you've been liking the stock picks so far, consider hitting that subscribe button too. Right now, we're sitting at 843 amazing subscribers, and I'm hustling to hit that magical 1,000 mark. Reaching 1,000 subscribers isn't just about unlocking monetization. It's like hitting the first checkpoint in a long video game journey. And trust me, it would be a huge boost of motivation for me to keep bringing you top quality content every single week. All right, with that out of the way, let's jump into the stocks that are right on the verge of a breakout. First up, we have a stock with the ticker symbol XGN, and I've pulled up the daily chart for this one. If you look at the screen, you'll see that XGN made a previous high of $6.22 on December 16th, 2024. Right now, the current price, $6.21. That's basically like standing at the door, hand on the doorknob, about to push it open. This stock is incredibly close to giving us a breakout, and it could literally happen any day now. Of course, as always, there's a chance the breakout might fail. That's just how markets work. But the key is, if you have it on your watch list before the breakout happens, you're positioning yourself to catch that first big wave. After 4 months of tight consolidation, this stock looks like a coiled spring. And honestly, this is one you do not want to sleep on. So definitely add XGN to your watch list right now. Moving on, the second and final stock in this section is FCFS, and I'm showing you the weekly chart here. This one's another beauty. The stock had previously made a high of around $133 back in April of 2024, and right now it's trading at about $132, just about 1% shy of that level. Think of it like a marathon runner who's just a few steps away from crossing the finish line. If we get a breakout here, it would be coming after a full year of sideways consolidation. And we love those kinds of setups because they often lead to strong, sustainable rallies, not just quick pops. So definitely add FCFS to your radar as well. It could be setting up for something really special. And with that, we wrap up all 8 stocks I had lined up for you today. I truly hope you found some solid value from this video. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new, I'd be honored to have you join our community by subscribing. Wishing you and your loved ones an awesome weekend. Until next time, stay safe, stay sharp, and I'll catch you in the next one.